The dreaded Achilles heel. This is Super Star Soldier, a shooter I love, played as a kid, and never defeated. Why? Because of this, the final stage, my Achilles heel. Now, the entire game is tough, requiring strategy, planning, and repetition, but this last stage, these two boss rushes, and this final enemy, well, you get the point. Super Star Soldier is a sequel to Star Soldier, which I played quite heavily on the original Nintendo Entertainment System. In fact, this one takes place 4 years after the events of that original. You see, the evil brains are planning their next attack, led by their leader, Mother Brain. Wait, Mother Brain? No, not that one. Not to worry, the world is safe, because an improved version of the original Caesar fighter craft was designed and built for just such an occasion. Now it's time to bash brains. Super Star Soldier is an overhead one-player shooter and is a pretty long quest with 8 total stages. They each play out in a typical way with a beginning, middle, and an end boss, along with a few mid-bosses tossed in for good measure. While it doesn't deviate much from other games like it, a lot of thought was put into the level designs. The enemies have all unique and diverse attacks. There are many obstacles to avoid, and they even recreated the ending of Salamander? Yeah, seems like it. Speaking of enemies, they are all interesting, and the manual gives them cool names like Antlion, Spider Fighter, and No Brainer. I like that one. Power-ups are collected via crystals. The red is multi-shot, the blue is ring laser, the green is spread laser, and the yellow is swing fire. These, of course, can each be increased in power with subsequent pickups, and you are eventually given a shield, allowing for a few free hits. At full power, the spread laser is probably the strongest, but there are a lot of reasons to choose other weapons. The strategy of mixing and matching the right weapons and replenishing your shield is a huge part of getting through this one. Or at least in my case, through most of it. You can also pick up options that surround your ship. The manual calls them Starbuck Defense System, an options latte. You can manually tap button 1 to spin them around, and after powering up, they will spin automatically. Although flipping the turbo switches up can also create a similar effect. Instead of options, you can also snag some damaging homing missiles. Collecting the blinking crystal awards a super bomb and an extra 5,000 points. Not to mention, it will turn your character in the corner of the screen gold. When this happens, you will now be able to continue right where you left off when you die versus being slung all the way back to the beginning of a stage. This is another huge strategy and also played a big role in blazing lasers. However, Super Star Soldier mentions it in the manual. With blazing lasers, you had to figure that one out yourself. Along with the main quest, Super Star Soldier has some really nice one-player options. You can play a 2-minute or a 5-minute game with the goal to score as many points as possible. Oh man, this is all very nostalgically familiar, you know? Even the music just screams 1980s goodness. Awesome. The graphics in Super Star Soldier are very nice. For an overhead shooter, they are definitely colorful, diverse, and pleasing. I must admit, some of the later levels with their crazy multi-scrolling are really eye-catching, and I had to keep myself from staring. The enemies are interesting, and the characters are all pretty well drawn. The sound is very blazing laser-ish. Now, this isn't a bad thing, especially since some people consider this game to be an unofficial sequel. There are a few exciting music tracks and some really fun effects. But in the end, some of the sound is a bit bland and does not seem all that original. The control is spot on awesome. There really isn't much more to say than that. You have a lot of control over your character, and a lot of freedom with your weapons, and even the speed of your ship. Superstar Soldier is a fantastic shooter, but I do have a couple of minor issues. The first revolves around an imbalance with one particular enemy. This guy, the boss of Stage 4. You see, up until this point, you will breeze through the game without much trouble. Then he appears. He also returns in the final stage as part of the wonderful Bosses on Parade. So, mastering his difficult defeat with minimal damage is necessary. Also, during your ship's flashing post-death state, you cannot pick up any crystals to upgrade your weapon or replenish that shield, which is not good. These issues aside, Superstar Soldier is one of the best shooters on the TurboGrafx and really a lot of fun. It doesn't deviate much from similar games, but it has that addiction factor and originality that will keep you coming back for more. Okay, so check this out. This is live footage of me playing one of the last games I played before doing this review. This is the final boss of the game. Boom! There's one part gone. Bam! There's another part gone. And oh boy, we are getting close. We have plenty of lives to spare. And just when we were about to beat the game... Yep. What you are seeing here is not fudged at all for this review. The game crashed. Now, not only did it crash, the entire TurboChip stopped working. Unbelievable. Even though I did get a replacement copy, I guess this was a sign that beating Superstar Soldier in my lifetime was just not meant to be. So, case closed. You win, Achilles heel. I'm done.